welcome to Bolters and Banter. I'm your host Tyler, and with me is Nick.
Back as always.
So real quick, we got the new art finally. If you guys are watching, it's on screen now. Pretty cool. We light up when we shoot, or we shoot when we talk. I mean,
I'm a big stompy orc now.
Yep, and I am a based Black Templar.
The B and BT stands for based.
Yes, the base Templars.
Yeah. My Warboss model is actually modeled after my own Warboss Mega Armor, and I'm very happy about that.
And the server skull above me is Viridian when we get her in some videos.
Look at that little cutie.
I know. Anyways, so we have a fun video planned for today. Nick, do you wanna tell the viewers what this video is about?
Absolutely. So we were thinking of, okay, we have some new people getting into the hobby, and we're thinking, okay, how about we talk about some tabletop stuff? Talk about, all right, if they're not familiar with the factions, how can we give them an idea of what each faction's sort of play style is, or maybe some key units? And then we realized people like Auspex Tactics and Bricky exist, and we're like, cringe. And also, we hate being mainstream. And not all armies do the same thing. Most Warhammer armies are three-dimensional with a bunch of army rolls, and today, we are beating the allegations, Tyler.
Yes, we are finding the least, the unit that fits in the least with every army.
Yep, we are the least aligned units, alright? If we're talking Tau, we're talking melee. If we're talking World Eaters, we're talking ranged, alright? We are doing the exact opposite of what you expect if you want to do just some meme lists.
Yep. Also, I can't believe you called Bricky and Auspex Tactics cringe.
Okay, listen, I'm just saying, they've already done this. They've already done the how to play armies, all right? They've done everything.
Now we're doing the how not to play the army?
We're talking to you of like, hey, do you want to do the exact opposite of what your army wants and have no rules to support it? This is what we're about. This is you whip these units out in a crusade list, and your casual king opponents will say,
base.
Good job. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's hit the poster boys first. Space Marines.
Oh God. Okay.
So Nick, what is the Space Marine playstyle? Like, what is their shtick?
Alrighty. Well, first off, shout out to my boy Jonathan who helped me lock down some of these playstyles. He's a big competitive guy.
Oh, John helped with this?
Yeah. He helped me come up. Yeah, he helped me come up with the general playstyle of each faction so that I can find the least part of it. So
I used ChatGPT for helping me make my list.
You son of a bitch.
Just for the categories, I promise. I came up with all the units.
I hate you so much.
Anyways, Space Marines, what are they like?
All right. Space Marines are very elite, high save units, and they're very versatile. They have a balance between melee and shooting. They don't really have a lot of one tricks. If you are a Space Marine Intercessor, you have a 3-up save, your toughness 4. Yeah, you have mainly shooting weapons, but you can also hit with strength 4 twice, hitting on 3s. And Space Marines, I'm not going to say they're slow, but like their dreadnoughts move 8 inches, their basic Marines move 6 inches. They're not like Eldari or Tau fast usually.
Yeah. They're pretty well-rounded, leaning towards the elite side of things.
Yep, elite, armored melee, a little bit slow.
So, I think we were kind of on the same page for what the opposite would be. We're looking at something, swings really hard, can't take a lot of punch. We're looking for the glass cannon in the Space Marines army.
We are looking for low saves. We're looking for something either chaffy or maybe chunky, but still with a low save. And I went for either they're really, really fast or they are stationary, like a fortification. And Tyler, I know how much you love those.
I fucking love fortifications.
Well, unfortunately, the Hammerfall bunker has a pretty high save and it has some pretty good shooting. And it kind of fits the Space Marine vibe a little too much. So, we have to double back on that. If we allow for special chapter units, Fenrisian wolves do not fit the Space Marine vibe at all. For reference, Fenrisian wolves are just big wolves. They don't have armor. A couple of them might have cybernetic parts, but basically they're just really fast wolves that have pretty decent melee, but they don't have any shooting. Their leadership's not that good. And they're just wolves. They're just dogs. They're not anything in chunky power armor. They're not like hugely genetically modified. They're big dogs. That's it.
Yeah, just dog. Okay.
Yeah, that's all Space Marine.
All right, do you have their data sheet pulled up?
Oh shoot. No, hold on. Give me a second. In the meantime, talk about your idea.
Okay. So I was trying not to do chapter specific stuff because Space Marines already get enough attention. So I don't need to do the special boys. I got Desolation Squad. Kind of a weird one out. Even aesthetically, they look pretty weird. They're very much an orc model with their crazy big guns. You have basic Tacticus Intercessor armor. So, T4, 2 wounds, 3 up save. But you have absolutely insane firepower. You got the super crack, 1 attack, 1 4 up, strength 10, AP 2, D6 damage. You got the other grenade launchers. It's pretty intense.
I see the point you're trying to make, but I do think that their data sheet of movement 6, T4, save 3 up, wounds 2, leadership.
It's very much just a regular Space Marine, but punches more.
Yeah, they're very much a Space Marine, and we've seen Marines like Hellblasters and stuff that have really big chunky weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And so infantry with big gun kind of fits the vibe a little bit.
It does, but where I kind of get at this is it's also 200 points for 5 Space Marines.
That's fair.
Which is, I mean, elite wise, that's a lot for 5 Space Marines.
Oh, you want to talk about something elite, all right? So I mentioned that Fenrisian wolves are one of my options.
Mm-hmm.
Another option is the Fire Strike servo turret.
Cringe.
Hear me out.
Cringe.
Movement 3.
Cringe.
Toughness 6. 2 up save. It's just a big gun. That's all it is. It's 75 points. And it overwatches on 4s. That's what it does. It is not the hypermobile, like go in, slowly advancing with bolter fire sort of thing.
I'm going to sit in this corner.
You plant it and you shoot. And then your funny wolves go in and drag someone down with 4 up weapon skill at 401. It sucks.
Yeah.
Fenrisian wolves are so bad.
If we wanted to get chapter specific, there's a couple good ones. You have Inner Circle Companions, which are really swingy. You got Sword Brothers, which are really swingy.
Well, aren't there Assault Intercessors, but better?
Sword Brothers?
Yeah.
Pretty significantly better. They got like 5 attacks each with like power swords and lightning claws and thunder hammers.
Yeah, the weird thing is because Space Marines are so versatile, you could do like stealth shock troops fit them? Well, yeah, you have the Reavers. Do like knightly armored dudes with big power swords fit them? Well, yeah, you have like a Blade Guard vets and Assault Intercessors and stuff. So to try and hone in on what they're not without looking for other factions, I think I'm going to stick with Fenrisian wolves, but I could accept some of the more wacky squads when it comes to
Fenrisian wolves is a pretty good answer.
Yeah.
Do we want to do guard next?
Guard? Okay, I'm going to be honest. I totally forgot to include guard when I first made this list.
I know.
But I think we ended up at the same conclusion. So you let me know about your former faction.
Yeah. Insert Toy Story I don't want to play with you anymore meme.
Just dropping a guardsman.
Just a poor guardsman. Anyways, what is guard? Guard is super hoardy, super cheap. It's not elite, very, very horde based, right?
And very range based too.
Sure, but primarily it's the horde aspect, right? Like 1,000,000 guardsmen marching to their death.
Yeah, either 1,000,000 guardsmen or tanks. And either way, it's probably going to be a line that shoots you and moves ahead like a hammer of Lasfire.
Yep. So what if we instead did like a really elite unit? And no, the answer is not a Baneblade. Okay, this is this is supposed to be an entertaining video. I can't just say Baneblade.
I mean, to be
Right.
fair, the Baneblade is probably a very guard-like model, though. I mean, if you're doing either
It's the
chaff
tank aspect
infantry
of it.
or big tank, it's
Yeah.
the big tank.
We're looking for elite chaff, and look no further than the Ogren Bodyguard. All right, let me hit you with this stat line, okay?
Okay, we differed a little bit, but yeah, go on. Hit me with it.
6-inch move, 6 toughness, 5 up save, little low, but we can get. Just hear me out. 6 wounds, leadership 7, 1 OC. Now, hang on, wait. With a brute shield, you get a 4-up invul save, or if you use the slab shield, you get 7 wounds.
Holy shit, you're cooking.
And whatever it leads has feel no pain 4, but it doesn't affect the. If it affected the Ogren Bodyguard, it would have been so elite. But I mean, this thing is 40 points, and it is custodian level tankiness.
I do think that yours is actually a better idea than mine. I was going to go with the Bulgren squad, but they're only 30 points per model.
Mm-hmm.
And they only have 3 wounds each.
Yeah, so we're looking at 7 wounds with the slab shield.
Oh, God.
This is, for comparison, if you're kind of new to 40k, this is like your Terminator captain plus a wound, I think.
Is Nork Deadog still in the codex?
I don't know.
He is. Nork
he like?
Deadog is a named bodyguard. Oh man, he's moving 6, T6, 4 up save, 6 wounds. He doesn't have the invul save.
Okay, so yeah, this is still like probably the tankiest guard, infantry guy we got.
So yeah, I think you're right.
Which is just insane because oh my god, 7 wounds.
Yeah, this is not a guard model.
This is not. This is a custodian in a big fat flesh suit.
Okay, no, Custodian be hitting on 2s. This guy's an orc. This guy's a mega knock.
Okay, but still. Did you rush your homework and get anything for guard?
I mean, I could do Bulgren, but I just think the Ogren Bodyguard.
I don't think you can beat the Ogren Bodyguard. It was pretty spot on.
You got it in one.
I cooked.
You got it in one. Now, you kept comparing things to Custodes. What are Custodes? What is their identity?
Look at me. I'm the named main character. I am Superman.
All right. Hyper elite infantry.
Mm-hmm.
Like 90 points a model and really melee focused because of their army rule.
Yep.
And the weapons they have. So if we're talking Custodes being hyper elite melee infantry, we're basically trying to get guard. We're trying to get ranged squishies.
Ranged squishies. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, it's my actually favorite part of Custodes, which is the Sisters of Silence. The Prosecutor Squad are the ladies with the bolt guns.
Mm-hmm.
You have, on one side of the army, 2 up save, toughness 5, maybe even 6 units with like big spears that'll absolutely slap at like AP 2, damage 3 if they're like axes or whatever.
And like what, 3 or 4 wounds?
Yeah. Okay. The prosecutors, all right?
Yeah, what if we just did that but opposite? At T3, 1 wound, 3 up save.
Yeah, exactly. And they have bolt guns that are 401.
Mm-hmm.
They are not it. And they have the longest range of these Sisters of Silence because the Witch Seekers, I think, have the swords and the Vigilators have the
Yeah.
The bolt gun gives them the most it gives them the most like shooty bang sort of thing.
Yep. It's really just a guard model.
Yeah, they're 10.
It stays a little bit higher, and you do have some cool Psyker devastating wounds stuff, but other than that, pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, so I would say prosecutors are the anti-Custodes. Run a few of those, bring a Leia. It'll be a fun little 500 point game.
Pretty good. I was kind of on the same board of as that with you on Custodes.
Yeah. In that case, do you have something else for me?
No. I got a pretty fun one for Tyranids. I think Tyranids, I got a pretty accurate one.
Oh, we're shooting straight up to Xenos. All right.
Oh, I think we could bounce around, right?
Yeah, let's do it. Sure.
You keep people on their toes so they don't click off the video.
Yep, fair. All right, we'll just mark off the ones we done so far. All right, Tyranids, hit me with it.
So, I actually have the exact same answer as you.
Holy crap! Look at us. We're
But
insane.
let's first off, what are Tyranids, right? Tyranids, it's two aspects of the same army, right? It's super horde base or big angry monster.
I like to think of them as the Imperial Guard of Xenos, where they either have a bunch of low save chaff, or they have big quote unquote tanks
Yes,
that come in with the firepower.
But-
Except where Guard are ranged, Tyranids are melee.
they're missing one aspect that Guard doesn't have:
What's that?
artillery.
That's true. Guard love artillery. Tyranids don't focus on that because they're so melee based.
They do have the odd one out child of Biovores.
That's true. I think that's their only indirect fire unit.
It is the only indirect fire unit, as far as I know, in the Tyranid Codex.
Yeah, and you don't see a lot because you talk about Tyranid infantry and monsters, the infantry are like toughness 3, like 5-up save Griblies,
Mhm.
and the monsters are like toughness 9 to toughness 11, chunky
Yep.
2 or 3-up save big guys.
And this is pretty in between.
They're in the middle. 3-up saves, toughness 6, like 5 wounds. It's strange.
Mhm.
You know?
And honestly, now that I'm looking at it, so the range is kind of short, but its spore mine launcher is pretty smacky, right?
I mean, 48 inches, it's got heavy. The main thing is that you could choose to set up spore mines.
But it
rather
also has
than-
devastating wounds.
True. And you can choose to make the spore mine launcher, instead of actually shooting, set up a spore mine, and that's board control.
Yep.
Setting up advanced board control isn't for Tyranids. You just go in and eat things. What is this? Board control is for the Lictor players.
Right. So yeah, it's definitely a weird one. Pyrovores are a little weird, but honestly, I can kind of. They're not super weird. It's just like a tank. It's just shooting, but
Yeah.
it doesn't have the indirect artillery aspect. So
Yeah, if you were using the old like big gorilla fist models for these guys, you get extra points for being anti-Tyranid, because now they're like these crab tick things.
I know they're
and they
so
look-
gross.
Oh, they look incredible. You can't tell the guns apart anymore, but they look really nice.
Yep. What do you want to do next after Tyranids?
Let's do another Xenos.
Okay. Are you going to pick a
Right.
cool Xenos or a weird one?
You know what? I'm going to talk about Votan because we left them out of some videos.
So there's a comment like, did you guys forget Votan? And I responded like, oh shit, we totally did. And then the next comment is, it's okay, so did GW.
We'll be better. We'll be better.
Mhm.
All right.
We
Now-
do have them, but they are at the bottom of our show notes list. So
Fortunately, the Votan playstyle, because they have so few units, is actually pretty easy to pick up on. They are very mid to short range, mostly shooting. They have some melee units like the Einhir Hearthguard and the Chthonian Berserks, but really mid to short range. That's kind of tough but slow. So like usually they're like toughness 4 infantry. Their vehicles are pretty chunky. They're just really slow, and so you have to grind up the board, getting some judgment tokens before you get there.
okay, so we're looking at pretty mobile, fragile, higher damage or closer range stuff.
We're basically looking for like snipers on jet bikes. Basically, is super fast, going in with long range and just daka.
Hang on, real quick. Do you remember when we copied Poorhammer and we did the making a new model for every faction?
Yeah.
Snipers on jet bikes sounds like the coolest towel thing ever.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe jetpack snipers. maybe,
Okay, that'd be
because
fine
we have-
too.
Yeah. I think that'd
Anyways,
be-
go watch that video. This entire bit was just a shout out that video.
oh, the plug, dude,
plug.
that hurt. That was not a Dean Kamen moment.
I know. It's okay.
Talis, put a timestamp here so that people can ignore the plug.
You know I do the timestamps, right?
Damn it.
Anyways, what model do you have for us?
Okay, if I'm thinking about fast, long range shooting, Okay, the longest range weapon on the Votan roster is on the Hecaton Land Fortress, but that model is so Votan, I
It's
can't
very
choose it.
Votan.
So I chose the Hernkin Pioneers.
Okay.
They are the bikers. They have movement 12. They are
Okay, so
toughness
fast.
6. Yeah, they're toughness 6, but for bikers, it's about average. Only 4-up saves. And
It's guard.
yeah, and their ability is Scout, and at the end of your opponent's turn, if they're within a battlefield edge, you can put in strat reserves. That kind of sneaky shenanigans doesn't really fit the grinding advance of the stunties that you would associate with Votan.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Mhm.
not bad. Pretty
Yeah,
good.
well,
There's not a lot we can work with such a new army.
yeah, and I mean, and the best you got on the Hunger Pioneers, there's like the Magna Coil autocannon. It's 3 shots on 4. Like, it's not that good of a sniping weapon, but you have the Panspectral Scanner that gives you ignore cover, and the Searchlight that can ignore stealth. So, like, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's snipey. Kinda snipey.
Necrons, they turned in like a C plus. It's okay.
You meant Votan, right?
Oh, sorry, I was reading the Necron show notes. Yes, Votan.
Oh, shit. You want to talk about Necrons?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, Necrons, massive glow up in 9th edition. You know, round of applause for the
They
Bone
ate.
Boys. Oh, God. They ate, as the kids say.
Hoggers.
General playstyle of Necrons. Even though they do have melee options, most of their data sheets are range weapons, even the Canoptics stuff. You're looking at mid-range shooting that is surprisingly tough, where even though their data sheets may not be the best, like 4-up saves, maybe toughness of 4, something like that, they're held up a lot by that reanimation rule.
Yep.
And their characters do a lot, where you want to have characters leading these squads to make them more effective, especially in the indexed attachment.
So for me, opposite wise, I was looking at something really strong shooty, can't resurrect, and is
Okay, so I think like really long range shooting.
not particularly long range, just very effective shooting without the ability to come back.
Okay, so what did you choose for your Necron pick?
I have 2. So first up, I have the Plasmancer. Now, you did mention characters, and a pretty core part of Necrons is characters, so I do lose points on this for choosing characters. But at the Plasmancer, we got the Plasmic Lance, 3 attacks, hitting on 4s, Shrink 7, AP 3, which is pretty high, and damage 2. It also has like ability to do some mortal wounds, and it can also make critical hits a lot easier. And because it's a character, it can't revive, right? I don't think characters can revive.
No, they cannot. Once they're destroyed, they're gone.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's okay.
Yeah, that's a decent pick.
And then
for that kind of vibe.
And then on the same aspect, now this one's a little bit tankier because he does have an invul save. He's also a bit more like shooty. We got Orkin,
Oh, so you really went with the wizard theme here.
Kinda. The wizard themes does kind of stick out of Necron's pretty. I mean, doesn't fit in super well.
They are a kind of newer concept, having a court wizard. All right.
But 2 attacks, hitting on 3, strength 4, AP 3, D3 damage, and it's devastating wounds. And it can it's got like, it's got once per battle just destroy a unit. Oh, and it only has the invul save if it's leading a unit. So I think it's okay.
All right, fair.
What do you have?
So I went with a very different route. When I'm thinking of Necrons, because I'm thinking of mid-range shooting, that's like kind of tough. Near characters, I want something that's kind of out in the field alone, not attached to characters at all. It can't really benefit from that.
Okay, so not a character.
I'm thinking like fast, independent melee squads.
Okay,
so kind of meant to be alone.
So like flayed ones or something like that.
Exactly. Flayed ones was one of my picks. Ophidian Destroyers was my other pick. Flayed ones, they have infiltrators and stealth. Their whole thing is to run up, just, flay someone with like, I think, what is it? 12 points per model, something like that,
Ooh.
and just absolutely annihilating them.
Mhm.
Another option is Ophidian Destroyers. Ophidian Destroyers are movement 10, and
Oh
they have
god.
Deep Strike.
Oh god.
Like, they're fast for Necrons, dude.
That's moving.
Yeah, they just run in and absolutely mulch things. And at the end of your opponent's turn, if it's not within engagement range, it could be set up later. So it has that sort of upsy downsy thing that you think of. And that doesn't really fit the sort of gray tide sort of.
Yeah, Necrons are very reliable, but this is more of all or nothing type of thing.
Yeah, so I'm thinking either Ophidian Destroyers or Flayed Ones to be the sort of anti-Necron thing.
Okay.
But it's interesting because Flayed Ones is a part of Necrons that some people really, really like.
Yeah, Hunter, my little brother, he fucking loves Flayed Ones, and as he should, because God, they have such a cool aesthetic.
Have you played West Side King?
Yeah, I have read it. Yeah, I have. Oh God,
incredible.
Mwah.
Do
Peak.
you want to switch over to Chaos now? Just keep them guessing.
Sure.
What are you most confident in with your pick for Chaos?
Bold of you to assume I had a pick.
Do you want to do Death Guard then?
Yeah, actually, I do have a Death Guard model. I do have a Death Guard model.
All right, we all know what Death Guard is.
Fee-fi-fo thumb.
It is. I'm gonna get you.
Eventually.
Now, I'll get you turn 5, but I'm gonna get you. And when I get you, I'm gonna hug you. And I'm tough, so you're not gonna hit me back. And I'm just gonna squeeze you until you pop.
So real quick, I'm becoming a huge fan for Death Guard because me and V are reading a Death Guard book together. And
Silence?
Yeah, Lords of Silence.
Let's go!
And so do you remember, okay, so first off, the Nurglings are called Little Lords. Do you remember the scene where the guy's like, I've returned your little lord to you in full condition?
Yes!
And it's like, he just turns around and farts in his arm.
Oh god, they're so good.
Oh, I love them.
The interrogation scene when he wakes up in the cell is probably one of my favorite parts of that book.
Yep. Anyways. So we're looking for something fast, right?
Yeah, we're looking for fast and squishy and hopefully range units. Like we're basically thinking like, hey, can you be a Aldari Guardian is what we're looking at here.
So the best thing go ahead.
Problem is not anything that's fast, squishy, and ranged.
Yeah, you might get 2 out of 3, but
yeah. So I went to 2 or 3 and chose Poxwalkers.
Oh, okay. That's not what I chose. Go ahead. Go off, King. Cook.
So think about it. They're not fast, nor are they ranged, but they have 6 inches of movement, and they are chaff dog.
They're very squishy.
7-up saves. They have a feel no pain, but you can just slog through them. But I think that goes to show why Death Guard has such a strong identity. Because that Poxwalkers still fit with their vibe quite a bit.
Yep. It's still stinky.
Yeah, if you're talking about like, they're squishy, but they also fit the sort of unending disease thing. It works a lot.
They're literally zombies.
Yeah. What did you choose for yours?
So I went the opposite route. I went shooty and fast with the Foated Bloat Drone.
That was my second pick. Yeah, that's good.
So it is pretty tanky. You know, it's actually really tanky. T9, 3-up save, 5-up invul, and 10 wins. But
yeah,
like we said, 2 out of 3. We do have a 10-inch move with a 36-inch range gun, 6 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength 8, AP2, D2.
36-inch gun?
Yeah. Pretty.
God, what is that?
The heavy blight launcher, and it's got lethal hits on it.
Wow. Okay, well, it's Death Guard. All their stuff has lethal hits.
Oh, do they? Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes sense. I didn't know. Yeah. I don't play Death Guard.
Dude, I played against Death Guard so many times. Those bloat drones, I know for a fact how tanky they are. You think T9 is like, oh, T9's not that much in this edition.
Oof.
Slap a 5-up invul, 10 wounds on it.
Oof.
Yeah.
It's tanky. But pretty fast and pretty shooty, so it's the best I got.
Yeah, but it fits the theme so well. Death Guard is such an amazing aesthetic.
They really do.
Everything in that codex just oozes disease.
All right, Nick, give me your favorite Chaos Space Marine Legion.
All right. It's world leader time.
The nails.
The nails, they're biting. I don't have any movement strats. Go crazy.
Fuck it, we ball.
Fuck it, we ball. Melee infantry.
Yep.
Right? That's what world eaters are.
Everybody knows
They
what
are
world eaters are.
They're 3-up saves, if not a little better in the case of the Terminators, but the Terminators, we'll get to that.
It's a different case.
They can get hit like a truck and keep on kicking, and they'll just hit back harder, dude. We're talking like, if you roll well, you can advance and charge. Even the Corn Berserkers, you slap a +1 strength on them, oh, they will hit so many times.
Mm-hmm.
And the 8-bound, strength 7, oh, they'll slap you. So they are melee infantry that'll run at you with mainly infantry, not a lot of like monsters or vehicles here. And they will hit you like a truck. That is their job. So
are we looking for a truck then?
We are looking for, well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of dedicated range unit that's either a vehicle or like a chaff model.
Okay.
And if you're thinking, okay, what would the world leaders bring to battle? A tank with a Gatling gun is probably not something that you would envision.
The Gatling gun kind of leads towards world eaters, but I can't imagine a Chaos Space Marine world eater calmly piloting a tank.
Exactly. Compare it to so we're talking about the Predator Destructor. Compare it to the other type of Predator that has a big cannon in it. Now that is slightly more world eatery. I mean,
you think the actual cannon? Okay, all right. Well,
the only acceptable world eater vehicle is the Lord of Skulls.
Yes.
Let me just put that out there. So the Predator is already getting kind of outdated. The Predator Destructor does not fit world eaters. It's just a tank. It's a like World War III tank. That's not what I'm here for.
World War III. That is a World War II US APC with a big gun.
Exactly. This is not, the only nails in this thing are used to bolt the frame together. All right? This is not what I came for.
The only nails are the ones you use building this fucking archaic old model.
No. The Predator Destructor is not world eaters. Get rid of it and give us some Red Butchers instead. If I want range weapons, give me like just constantly overcharged plasma or blood priest. I don't want the Predator anymore.
Yeah, it's the case of we don't have the time to give you a special unit, but you can have this consolidation Predator.
Yeah, there you go.
Take your obligatory Rhino and be quiet.
Now, Tyler, what armies do like vehicles? What likes the big guys?
Well, we already did Guard. Are you looking
Admech.
bigger vehicles? Oh, Admech.
I was thinking Admech.
Okay.
I mean, so think about it. Admech, their aesthetic, at least in the 40k models, is either vehicles like the Onager Crawler, the Scorpius Disintegrator, stuff like that, or the Castellan Robot, or some like low toughness infantry shooting, and lots of characters. Admech are mostly a shooting army with either the vehicle shooting or the infantry shooting. And either way, you want a character to either buff the vehicles, in the case of the Tech Priest Manipulus?
The Engine Seer is the vehicle guy.
Engine Seer, there we go.
Yeah.
And then the Manipulus or Dominus can help your infantry shooting.
Yeah, so the other part too, being there's a lot of synergy in this army.
Yes, we're looking at a lot of, hey, who gets your army rule? Who can benefit from Doctrina? All that good stuff. That means we're looking at a kind of similar theme to what we were looking at with Guard of like tough elite melee infantry or monster units.
All right.
I don't believe Admech has any monster units. And
you have Cole.
Is Cole a monster?
He's technically a monster, I think, and then he has an ability to make him technically an infantry unit.
He is, oh my gosh, he is a monster.
Yep.
But Cole fits the Admech so well.
He's Admech.
Yeah, he's T8, save 2 up, wounds 10. He's basically just a vehicle. He's just another Admech vehicle, but
he really is.
Living.
But a guy.
Yeah. So instead, I went with the Fulgurite Electro Priests.
Okay.
I bet you haven't heard of these guys before.
I
Nobody loved these.
can't say that I have, which is why I'm looking them up right now.
The Electro Priests are
Ew.
half-naked dudes.
It's these guys. Ugh, I hate them.
Yeah. Yeah, they're the like half-naked Dr. Manhattan dudes.
Ugh.
And the whole thing is that they worship the like motive force, which is just electricity. And the Fulgurite ones are the guys with the sticks. The other Electro Priests are the guys with the fists that can zap you from a distance. The Fulgurite Electro Priests, there are toughness 3. They do have a 5-up invul save though, which is cool. And they have a feel no pain 5-up, which is also nice. They have a stick that will hit you twice on a 3-up at 6-1-2 with dev wounds.
That's pretty spicy.
That's kind of spicy. And they're a dedicated melee unit. And
dedicated melee is definitely not AdMech's core identity.
Exactly. And they're infantry. And they're not really as like servitorized. Like they're not Skitarii. And they're not Cataphron servitors. They're like devotees of the religion.
Yeah, they're, and it's also weird too because they're mostly organic.
Yeah, they are. And now part of me really wants more of that in the army. I do like the human devotees of the machine cult vibe. But I mean, the whole vehicle servitor thing is just so ingrained in their current range that the Fulgurite Electro Priests, I think, are the least AdMech model we have.
Okay, that's it's pretty good. I think I got an okay one too.
What's that?
So same idea as you, as really like strong dedicated melee units, the Sicarian Ruststalkers.
Ooh, those are guys with the double razor blades, yeah?
Yeah, so aesthetically, they're pretty AdMech, but functionality-wise, they're really melee. They kind of remind me, like, at least model-wise, they look like almost like flayed ones. They kind of give me the same idea.
Yeah, they're 8-inch movement, toughness 4. Like they're chunkier than most AdMech infantry is.
And while they do have some synergy stuff, which kind of takes away points, you do get really strong melee at you got precision, dev wound, 5 attack, hitting on 4s, strength 5, AP 1, D1, or you get anti-infantry 3 dev wounds, which that's with precision.
You know what the
character deleter? What?
You know what the transonic blades reminds me of?
What?
It reminds me of the commando droids from Clone Wars.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. They have like the blades and they kind of like yeah, they're all flipping around and whatever, like just slicing up clones. Yeah. That's these guys.
And one other thing that kind of brings some points back that isn't, I don't think, a big thing in AdMech, stealth. They have a stealth ability.
That's true. They do have stealth. You could get like smoke screens for stealth for certain units, but it's usually not a thing that people do.
So I think it's an okay one.
That's good. That's good.
Okay. What do you want to do next?
Okay, let's see. We got let's round out, like, we got 4 Imperium factions left. Might as well hit another one.
Okay.
All right. Sororitas.
Oh, okay. I do have one for Sororitas. Do you want to do yours or do you want me to do mine first?
Well, first tell me what the Sororitas are. What's their vibe?
So you're kind of looking at the same aspect of Guard. You're looking more towards Horde. You're looking towards being pretty squishy. But where Sororitas differ is they are a little bit more closer range, but they swing harder and they also have higher saves. But, you know, they're just really strong in close range combat, whereas Guards tries to do mid to long range.
Yeah, I agree. Sororitas excel in the, like, 6 to 24 sort of range.
Yeah, where if you have Guard in 6 to 24 inch range, you better be prepping bayonets and praying to the God Emperor.
Yeah, exactly. So for Sororitas, that means we're probably looking for, like, high toughness, low save units that are either just like, you're thinking like either melee or maybe just like snipers. I don't think Sororitas have snipers, so I think
they have a sniper, which is in it's one unit, or it's one model in a battle line unit. It has precision, and it's only like, you can go watch the Poor Hammer video on it. It was finding every faction sniper. It was the best thing they could do with Sororitas, and it was pretty miserable. So
All right. So I think
Yeah.
that might be out the window. So I think we have to do like anti-tank melee because Sororitas have quite a few anti-chaff melee. They have the novitiates with swords. They have the Zephyrim with swords
mhm.
and Celestine. So we're looking at anti-tank melee, high toughness, low save units. We're basically looking at 8-bound.
I got one for you.
Hit me with it.
So I was looking for pretty elite, pretty tanky Sororitas with
Yeah.
not much melee. I mean, this thing does have really good melee, but it's also equally good for shooting. Morven Vol.
Oh, and she's a character. Okay.
Which
Explain.
Sororitas in not I don't think they lean very character heavy, right? It's more so battle line.
Characters are how they regenerate a lot of their miracle dice and stuff. No, Sororitas really like their characters.
Oh, well, okay. Anyways, we're looking at T7 with a 2-up save, a 4-up save, so incredibly low save, plus an invul, 8 wounds, and then for range, we're looking at 36-inch range guns with, like 3 attacks, 2 attacks are 2d6, all hitting on 2s. Strength is anywhere from 4 to 9, and then damage you're looking at like 1, 2, or d6 for each. It has 3 weapons. So
that is chunky. She can put up a fight.
Yep. It's and every time it makes an attack, it can reroll, hit roll, and wound roll if it's leading a unit.
Oh, and you'll probably put her with a bunch of those Nundums. I forget what they're called. That's something with a P.
The Nundums would also be a pretty good submission to this, but I found
because they have 2-up, 4-ups. They're nuts.
And Morven Vol is also 160 points, which is.
I see what you're doing there. I also went with something really, really tough, but I actually went for something with a worse save because Sororitas have that 3-up armor and their tanks have the 3-up armor. I went for something with a 4-up save that mainly relied on a feel no pain. And I went with the Penitent engine.
Ooh,
now
spicy.
Here's the problem.
It's very core identity, like aesthetic wise.
Yeah, Morven Vol, I think, doesn't fit Sororitas as much as the Penitent engines would.
The Penitent engine is screaming Sororitas in your ear.
I know. It does, but in terms of the actual game stats, 4-up save, and it has a 5-up feel no pain. It's kind of fast. It's really tough. I think it's toughness 6, which is pretty damn big for a Sororitas model.
Yeah, I mean, the saves are pretty low, so it kind of leans towards Sororitas, but the high toughness brings it back some.
Yeah, and feel no pain as well.
Yep.
And it's melee. I mean, if you give it the buzzsaws, oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah, and that's where you're also going back to Sororitas as having melee. Morven Vol does have pretty spicy melee, but I think you'd probably try to keep her at range more than anything.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
So
I think Morven's probably a better pick for this.
Penitent engines are definitely like a weird one playstyle wise, but it's still a part of it. It's just a niche aspect of it.
Absolutely. I'm tired of the Imperium. I want to do something else. We did 2 factions, and I
don't want to play with you anymore. Tau.
Okay, this is actually what inspired this.
This video suggestion came from the Discord from one of our Discord members, which you should join.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Discord's where we have the book club. It's where we have events. We get to chat, we get to play video games. It's a good time.
Mm-hmm. You can help us pick our next videos.
Yeah, and so the Tau is what inspired this of, hey, what can we do to do the opposite of Tau? Because Tau's playstyle is so well known that it's become a meme where everyone knows Tau don't have melee.
Do not put them in melee. It's the whole meme of if you see Tau in melee combat, it's because they've lost.
Exactly. Tau have very long range shooting that's usually pretty mobile, but also a little squishier. Because crisis suits are only T5, but they hit. They're not as glass cannony as Eldari are, but they're definitely up there.
Real quick, because I just found the message. This submission came from Milton in the Discord, so shout out to Milton.
Good job, Milton. Milton, we're gonna give you your Tau melee.
We're gonna pay him, but we're not because I don't have any money.
All the money's going to Talis.
It is. So yeah, looking for melee.
All right. Ideally, we'd have a big, slow-moving, tough melee unit.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, the closest we have is actually pretty fast. I chose the Crutox Rampagers.
Yep. It's
Have you seen these things?
it's pretty good.
Bro, you ever give like a gorilla steroids?
You
and
ever
see
just
them
jack a
there?
gorilla up and give him knives?
Yeah, exactly. The whole reason they exist is they have a scouts move, and then they have the Crutox Linebreaker move where you scout them up 7, and then you charge at the enemy. And then once you're in the enemy, you do mortal wounds to them and do battle shock. They are just shock troop line breakers. 7-inch movement, toughness 6, 5-up saves. So like their save isn't that good, but like, oh my gosh. 5 wounds, T6.
Listen, the Tau took the you suck at melee personally, called up their boy the Croots, and just fucking annihilated all of like my Space Marines.
4 attacks on 3s was sustained at 612.
It hurts.
Punch, 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 punch.
Gorilla, eat that toddler.
Exactly. Like I was debating even doing the Crutox Riders, but the Crutox Riders actually have cannons.
Yeah, it's a little like kind of averaged out, balanced.
Nah, we need the Rampagers. All you get is pistols. You're going into punch.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you had to?
Kind of. It was, but I have another suggestion.
Okay.
This one is pretty core to Tau, so I kind of lose points to that. But Commander Farsight. This is your Gundam sword Tau.
Dog, I'm gonna be honest. -2. Farsight's awesome.
He is. He is.
Tau guy.
He is, but even like if you like look at it like really close, even lore wise, he sticks out of the Tau because like not a lot of people agree with his fighting style because it's very melee.
Yeah, that's true. He's very, very in range.
Mm-hmm. And at 4, like your strike attack, 4 attacks, 2 up, strength 10, AP 2, D3. Whew.
Yeah, that hits. I think any weapon that has like at least a pip of AP and does more than 1 damage is pretty good melee for Tau.
But he does. I mean, does lose points because like this screams Tau with it being a mech suit.
Yeah, I think that,
the guy.
I think like Commander Shadow Sun would fit that more. Oh, you know what would actually be a wild pick? The Ethereal.
Oh, cringe. Okay, hang on. Let me pull up the Ethereal data sheet.
Ethereal is just a guy. T3, doesn't fly, not a battle suit.
Has 2 attacks. No, shut up. 2 attacks. Hitting on 4, strength 5, 0 AP, 1 damage.
He technically has a melee weapon, and it's the only weapon he has.
Oh, he is just a guy.
Yeah, he either is a guy on foot or he has a hover drone and can fly 10 inches.
Oh, you know what? This is a pretty hot pick.
Yeah, I know. Like, you could put him with like a breacher team or a strike team, but if he can just fly and kind of gamer around, what's he doing with the strike team?
And it's weird that he gives them a Feel No Pain 5.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess. But why do you need a Feel No Pain 5 on T3?
Why would you want that on Tau? If anything, you'd want them to be more coordinated with like more like marker lights or some shit.
Yeah, like I guess you give extra CP.
Or like,
that's only on a 4-up.
Or like if you wanted to do lore accurate wise, do it like Battle Shock, right? Because they're you know taking control of everybody. I gotta give it to you. Ethereal is weird.
Yeah, I think if it's not Crutox Rampagers, Ethereal might be a pick.
I'm here for it. I like it.
Right.
Right. Give me best Xenos army.
Oh, the orcs.
Yes.
Oh, the orcs. Obviously.
Hit me with it.
There you go. Okay. The orcs. Tough melee brawlers. They go in, they punch you real hard, but here's the thing. They're not as committed to melee as you think. Because there's so many of their units that just have DACA. So
much
the orc
DACA.
army is in halves, where you obviously have the melee push of brawlers that are tough but don't have really good saves. But then you have like the low accuracy, high strength shooting, where you have a lot of attacks. Most of them are going to miss. But if they hit, they're usually like strength 5 or more. Like, they're probably going to slap you.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking for the anti-orc of something squishy with consistent shooting, but the shooting is kind of ass.
Squishy, weak shooting. I mean,
it's Grotz.
It's Grotz, yeah.
It's Grotz. Dude, the Grotz are the most unorky orcs. Like, again, they're core to the faction identity. You gotta have...
You have a Grot on top of you right now, and I'm shooting him.
Yeah. Now he's shooting you back. But guess what? He's gonna hit you on 4s, because that's what Grotz do. Like, I see... If you asked me this 5 years ago, I would have a different answer. I would say that 5 years ago, I would say that the Beastnaga stuff does not fit at all. But now
we do have a lot more orc stuff.
Yeah, now you have like...
Or not orc stuff, squig stuff, I mean.
Yeah, you have the kill rig, and you have the Rocket Truck Squig Buggy, you have the Beastnaga boys, you have the Beast Boss on Squigosaur. It's beginning to round out a bit.
Okay.
But if it's not the Beastnagas like the Squighog boys, I would say Grotz. Okay. Grotz just aren't orky.
That's fair. I have one.
Yeah?
So, orcs, they like to move. They like to schmoove it, you know?
Of course.
Right? And do you know what I like that doesn't move at all? A fortification!
I'm going to destroy you, Tyler.
Introducing the Biggin Boss Bunker.
Wait, it only has shooting attacks, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. And it's a fortification. It doesn't move.
Oh my gosh, the orc unit with no melee.
With no melee and no movement.
This hurts me. So much. The Big Ed Boss Bunker. Okay. To be fair,
aesthetic-wise, yes, nails it.
Okay, to be fair, it does have a las cannon that hits on 5s, and that's very orky.
It really is. With sustain, it's D3.
Sustained hits on a las cannon with strength 12, AP 4, D3. Oh. Dog, the gaze of Gork.
But I mean, yeah, and you know what's... Hang on, you want to hear what's fucking hilarious about this model?
What's that?
It's a transport.
Oh yeah, it's firing deck 11.
Yeah, you could put stuff in this.
Dog, you can have 10 flash skits and a mech just in it. Oh, big mech with shock attack gun. You put it in there. Oh man. Yeah, no, the Big Ed Boss Bunker is not super orky, but like it has potential.
It has potential, but as is, no, it does not.
It's like a Stompa that sits.
Let me not move my Stompa. Okay.
All right. Let's pivot. Let's pivot from Xenos. Let's talk Chaos again.
Thousand Suns.
See, if you asked me last edition, I would say something that's not psychic. But now, it's just shooting. So like...
Yeah, I cast gun.
Yeah, so Thousand Suns, they're very character heavy because they like their casters, and characters is how you generate Cabal points, which is how you use their army rule. So we're looking at short to mid-range psychic shooting that's very character dependent. So, and Rubric Marines, they don't have psychic shooting, but they're still mid to close range, and they're usually with a character. And Rubric Marines are so core to Thousand Suns, it doesn't really fit. We're looking for independent troops that either just do a bunch of melee or sneak and snipe. That's their vibe.
Okay.
Now, my pick is the Zangor and Light. Give me 1,000 Suns player that think the Zangor are the core of their army.
GW?
No. Not even Space Marine 2 players. No. Zangor Enlightened, all right? Movement 10 inches. Faster than Marines. Toughness 4, fair. 5 up saves. Way worse than a Marine. Here's their thing. They run around and they have divining spears, which are precision weapons.
Okay.
So they're snipers, or you can give them a Fate Caster Great Bow, which is a lethal hit and precision bow. So they basically run around like a squad of like 3 to 6 of them with a bow that snipes people. That's
Sniping
so
squad.
wacky.
Also,
Yeah.
pause. We were recording this the day the Ratlings and the what is the orc models that came
The
out?
tank busters, the Ruckus
Oh
squad.
my god, they look beautiful. The fucking tactical turkey leg.
The Ratlings are so good. There's a Ratling Christmas model coming out where they're cooking some turkey.
I love it. Did you
Dude,
see?
the
Did you
Ruckus
see?
looks so good.
Black Captain Price Ratling.
Let me Google him. Talis, Talis, pull up Black Captain Price.
Look.
Oh my god,
he has the booty hat and everything. And
oh my
the beard.
god, you're right. Holy crap,
I love him.
it's him.
It's him. It's literally him.
He has the chops.
He
Oh my
does.
God,
I
you're
know.
right. Dude, there's got to be someone who does this as Captain Price and makes another guy soap.
Yeah, the other guy does have like the faux hawk type of thing.
Yeah, you did a JoJo on the beat, soap.
God, where we're talking about Thousand Suns, Zangors.
Yeah, Zangor Enlightened do not fit at all. Their whole thing is that once per turn, when an enemy unit ends a move near them, they get to run away. That's so not that.
It's definitely a weird one.
Like, I get it,
And no psychic.
trickery. And listen, man, I already know that if Rubric Marines can teleport, I'd be pissed off. If these guys could teleport as well, I would destroy my PC. All right. I think it's Space Marine 2 reference. If you know, you know.
Yeah. I kind of struggle on this. I didn't have much, and I kind of cheated. I kind of didn't get a Thousand Sun specific unit. A Rhino does not work with Thousand Suns. I'm sorry. One, they don't even really need transports, right? And it just has such a bland, non-Zinch aesthetic.
Yeah, that's fair. I wish they had a cool dedicated. Like, the Death Guard have rhinos.
Yeah, they have some more themey stuff.
It fits the mechanized sort of heavy tread sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think if the Thousand Suns had like hover transports, they had like incursor equivalents, that would be cool.
If you just took the Rhino and just put it on a big floating disc, then I'll be okay.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point.
It would be very Zinchy, very confusing.
They help move the rubrics, and that's what matters because the rubrics are just good. You could also argue the.
Oh, I didn't know.
You could also argue the Mutilith Vortex Beast because the Mutilith Vortex Beast is just a monster that just shows up, moves 10, toughness 10, 4-up save, 13
It's
wounds.
a Tyranid in disguise, but it oozes Zinch-like aesthetic.
I know. It's a Tyranid model that ended up on the Chaos side, and honestly, I'm kind of here for it, so I'm still sticking with my Zangors.
I love him so much.
You want to do demons?
Yeah, we can do demons.
Demons is weird. Can we agree that demons, there's 4 playstyles depending on what god you do?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to find something that doesn't fit to anything.
Yeah. In general, though, demons are a very melee-heavy focus. Zinch has a lot of shooting stuff, but for the most part, Chaos Demons are melee chaff. They're usually invul saves. I think they're actually all invul saves now I think about it.
I think so, probably.
And their big things are usually monsters rather than vehicles because they bring from the warp. They don't really need machines as much. They're mostly just creatures that show up from the ether and rely on their immutable forms to protect them rather than wearing armor.
Being weird.
Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking like ranged machines or like ranged armored units, basically.
Okay. Like a tank.
So yeah, I have my pick for this, which is weirdly enough a Khorne model.
Oh, okay.
Did you know Khorne has a dedicated range unit called the Skull Cannon?
You mean the Doom medieval weapon?
It's basically how do I put this? You know the like penny farthing bicycles you have back in the day?
The what?
a penny farthing bicycle. It's a bicycle with like a really, really big front wheel and a really tiny back wheel.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Imagine if that had a gun strapped to it.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. That is a skull cannon, and in Total War Warhammer, it just does donuts around the enemy once you run out of ammo. It's pretty funny.
That's pretty badass.
It is not. It doesn't fit though because it's a vehicle. Which okay, I played against demons so many times because my buddy who plays Nurgle demons a lot. I think there's only like 3 models in that codex that can get the anti-vehicle keyword on. Nothing else has vehicle. It's the Soul Grinder, the Skull Cannon, and I think that might be it. Maybe no, because the chariots of Slaanesh have the mounted keyword.
Yeah.
They're the only vehicles.
It's pretty out there.
I think the Skull Cannon's it. It's just a cannon. And to be fair, the cannon's actually pretty spicy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it hits on 4s, but here, let me pull it up.
All right. Well, while you do that, let me drop mine real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I went through a different thought process as you.
Oh, sure.
What is like one important thing about demons you didn't touch on? Or you kind of touched on. You touched a little bit.
Deep Strike?
Nope. They all are Chaos God specific, and there's only one model that is not Chaos God specific.
Talking about Spellicore?
Yep. Because even Vashtor is in his own right like a god, lesser god. He's got his own. He's the tech god, right? Bellicor is just a fucking angry, unallied demon. He's got no Chaos God.
Yeah, because they got rid of Furies and everything.
Yep.
Now, Soul Grinders don't necessarily have a god keyword.
Yeah, but come on. It's World Eaters.
You can get one, but they don't. The Soul Grinders and Bellicor both don't have it, but I see the point you're making.
Yep.
Okay, so Skull Cannon, 48-inch range. That's really long for a demon unit. As blast, D6 plus 2, hitting on 3s at 912. This is a Khorne model.
Khorne pulled out the blicky.
Khorne model. Hello? It has a 4-up save. Like, for a vehicle in demons, that's weird.
Calm down, Khorne. Don't pull out the 9.
Yeah, exactly. And like it has some melee, obviously, but I mean, the Soul Grinder, I only chose a Skull Cannon over it because the Soul Grinder, even though it has a better save and it still has a vehicle keyword, its melee still slaps. Okay. So you could still argue it's basically just a greater demon, I gotcha. It's like T11, 14 wounds. It's big.
I gotcha. Agents of the Imperium?
Okay, we can actually talk about this now. It's actually an army?
It's sorta.
Okay. If you're actually going to run just an Agents of the Imperium army, there's like 2 kind of vibes. Half the
alien hunters or witch hunters?
Heretic hunters as well. They're and demon hunters. There's 3 Ordos and then the Navis guys.
I know, but still.
The 2 vibes are like the elite characters, and usually the characters are squishy. They're like low toughness elite characters, like Inquisitors, Assassins, things like that. You either bring those, or you bring their infantry squads that are usually pretty chaffy, usually ranged, and occupy a similar role to guardsmen, just with different weapons. Like the Exaction squad has shotguns. The Navis breachers have, I think, shotguns and
shields. They got shotguns and yeah.
The Rogue Trader Voidsmen at Arms have las guns, I'm pretty sure. So it's chaff range squads being led or protecting really specialist characters.
Very hyper elite infantry guys or characters, I mean.
Yeah, and even then, these characters can also be assassins that are on their own. So they don't have to be leading people.
So looking for really tanky hyper elites.
Yep. Tanky hyper elites. And so technically, you can run Grey Knight Terminators as part of an Agents of the Imperium army. Those are chunky guys.
210 points.
And I think the only other thing that may not fit them is the stuff they bring from other squads, like the Sister of Battle Immolator, which is a rhino with a giant flamethrower.
Yeah, but I mean, it also goes with the other sister stuff, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, so I'm thinking either the Grey Knights Terminator Squad for the Hyper Elite Infantry, or if I'm thinking like mechanized, I guess the Imperial Rhino.
Okay.
But I think the Rhino only really fits with like Marines, Guard, and Death Guard. Everything else, the heavily mechanized thing doesn't fit as well.
Mm-hmm. I got something. I got a navigator. I mean, to me, it doesn't fit too much aesthetic wise. Like, I get the idea behind it, but there hasn't been a whole lot of navigator house stuff mentioned.
Yeah, but I don't know if the Ages of the Imperium really has an aesthetic. It's basically just a wastebasket to put everything else in.
It really is, and they just were like, "Oh wow, wait, we have this model from what was it, Space Hulk or something?"
Yeah,
they're like, "Okay, fuck it, just dump it in here."
Yeah, this is where you put members of the Imperium that you can't make a full army out of, like RBDs, rogue traders, assassins.
The kill team dumping grounds, as it were. I know I think we know where Ratlings are going to be in a year.
Yeah. Speaking of things that are kind of like Imperium-ish, want to do Imperial Knights?
Honestly, I wasn't going to cover Knights at all, just because to a degree they're all really the same.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest.
Do we even want to cover Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights? Because I
mean, Imperial Knights, they're big old robots that blend melee and ranged weapons. Almost all their stuff are big robots, so I guess we'll choose the smallest ones. You just want the
smallest, and then the answer is just going to be the Armiger or the War Dog.
Yeah, it's one of the Armigers or one of the War Dogs, but which Armiger or War Dog?
Yes, but does anybody even play Knights?
Actually, quite a few people, and that concerns me. Well, okay. Now, let's cover real Imperial Knights. Are you going to bring Knights as just against a bunch of infantry? Or are you going to bring it against, like, your opponent's big guys, you know? I'm thinking if you're playing Imperial Knights, you're not super looking forward to, like, fighting a Horde army. So, I'd argue that the Armiger Helverin that could take, like, the chain cannon, and I think that would be the most, or the least knight-y, but it's still a, 20-foot tall robot?
Yeah, it's
or 20-foot tall suit.
It's not really a small unit.
Yeah, instead of playing Pacific Rim, you're playing Titanfall. You're still in there.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then was your Chaos Knight one the Executioner War Dog?
Yeah, I did Executioner because, again, it has a gun, it fires it, bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, it's
as long as it's not the Carnivore. The Carnivore really fits Chaos Knights, even though it's an Armiger.
Is that
because it's just all melee?
Yeah.
It just has a claw and a chainsword, and it'll mess you up. And the new kit for the Carnivore is so beautiful, dude. Executioner, I think, is the one without the new kit, and so that's why I chose it.
Do we want to do Grey Knights? Are they even an army still?
They are. They have some. They have their own stuff. Oh god. Okay. Heavily armored hyper elites, short range shooting and melee focus. So we're looking for long range squishy hordes, or like really mechanized shooting. I'd argue that long range squishy hordes are probably more close to what they do.
Okay.
I mean, like servitors, maybe.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't know why, but servitors just nail the Grey Knight aesthetic because I think Inquisition. What? I think Inquisition. So
I guess
what's more Inquisition than turning your enemies into servitors?
Okay, consider. The Grey Knights are the apex of like psychic training.
I guess so. Running with a lobotomized dude is pretty weird.
Yeah, your brain is made into an actual weapon. Your willpower is honed to be a spear in the hands of the Emperor. And what if you have a dude with his brain taken out?
It's
You know?
fair. Oh,
That's
sorry, I
what I'm
had the
saying,
on.
servitor.
Okay. I got Dread Knight because why?
Yeah, that's fair. It's kind of it doesn't.
I'm sorry, but this is
not.
the Dread Knight for me is everybody's reaction to Tau. You like being introduced. It to me, it doesn't fit with the aesthetic.
Nah, it's not it. That should be a like
It
Agents
should
of
be like a
Imperium like
custodian thing or something, like really weird, and like jack it up and make it like
Okay.
super
or
insane.
consider instead of giving it like a sword and a side cannon, give it
Two
like a
swords.
tractor beam and a big claw and make it like a load suit, like a loading suit
Ooh,
for like the
yeah, but
Davis
that'd
breathers.
be I don't know. That feels more of like a guard type thing, like like the Sentinel power lifter when we still had it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Drukhari, fast anti-infantry melee.
Yep.
Transports.
Very squishy.
Yeah, very squishy, and they mainly focus on killing other infantry. They don't have a lot of anti-tank unless they have like a lance on their transports.
Mhm.
So you want to run in, hop out of your transport, kill things, hop back in, and leave.
Yep. So we're looking at something really tanky. Looking at the Talis, which is, whew, it's so cheap for such a massively tanky unit.
The Talos paint engine looks incredible.
What's the point cost again? Do you have it pulled up?
I'm about to. Give me a second.
It's something that's stupid low.
The Talos is 80.
Yeah, for what's its stat line?
Okay, toughness 7, 3-up save with a 6-up invul, 5-up feel no pain.
I think that's pretty fucking tanky for 80 points.
7 wounds. Ooh. And yeah, it's got chain flails, it's got a Talos Ichor inject. It's got a lot of stuff. Oh my gosh. It's just covered in
It is the repulsor. It is the inelegant amount of guns.
Yeah, it is the repulsor. All right. So Talos, definitely the least Drukhari of the Drukhari things.
I don't have anything for Eldari. I'll let you go off for that one.
All right. So Eldari, fast-moving squishies with glass cannons. They're a lot more range focused than Drukhari are.
Yeah, it's Drukhari, but with guns and not knives.
And I find that Eldari often have a decent amount of anti-infantry shooting where, unless you're running like a lance or something, they're usually around like strength 6 or lower and just hit pretty consistently. But they have a lot of like aspect warriors that fill those roles. So I'm thinking bruisers. I'm thinking of something that goes into a fight and stays in the fight rather than like hopping in and killing what it touches. So if I'm thinking bruisers that like hit once but hit like a truck, the Wraith Lord.
Yep.
The Wraith Lord is in the combat patrol, believe it or not.
Yeah, no, it is. I will say though, it does lean aesthetically pretty Eldar. It's literally made out of the Wraithbone and it's powered by the souls of your dead friends.
Yeah, the Wraith stuff is a very specific vibe for Eldar. Like, you could get rid of the Wraith stuff and still get the Eldar idea.
Yeah, I mean, tabletop-wise, yes, it is kind of standout.
Yeah, but dude, I mean, T11, 2-up save, 10 wounds. It's got a big ghost glaive.
What if I made my Baneblade stand?
It hits on 4s at 10, 3, D6 plus 1. Ugh.
Pretty spicy.
The Wraith Lord hits like a truck. It's pretty big and pretty awesome.
Okay.
We have 2 left.
CSM first?
All right, CSM. All right, so Chaos Space Marines, they're similar to Space Marines, but I find they're slightly more melee focused. Like, instead of a 50-50 split with Space Marines, they're more like a 60-40 split. They're highly aggressive, but they're versatile, and they're mainly elite infantry and vehicles.
And you also do get some pretty randomized buffs is another core aspect.
They're not random.
It's not random, but like it's
random whether you get punished, but you strategically choose them.
Yeah.
And I think that is really, really cool. And that's what makes them so aggressive, is that they can take pain in order to get a boost to get a very early damage buff.
Okay.
So in this case, I'm thinking like kind of similar to Space Marines, like we're looking for kind of like squishy stuff. Or because I'm talking about vehicles, I'm talking like low save monsters. Not like low save like toughness 2. I'm saying monsters whose saves are kind of ass, like 7 up or 6 up,
Yeah.
because that doesn't fit the whole Space Marine demon engine vibe. Because the demon engines have 3 up saves and invols and stuff. So
I got you.
I'm thinking for Chaos Space Marines, we're looking either at the cultists, who are toughness 3 and they are mostly shooting and just kind of there to hold points, or the Chaos Spawn.
I don't know. Cultists kind of scream CSM for me. Like every Chaos Space Marine book starts with Cultists, and then Space Marine 2 starts with Cultists.
It starts with Tyranids, actually, because it's don't come in.
Shut up, nerd.
Into the
you know what scene I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know. So do you think Chaos Spawn would fit a little bit more in terms of like the anti-CSM thing?
Maybe, but then at the same time, it's still a demon. But I will say it's a weird demon because it's not really a demon. It's just kind of warp goo.
Yep, I think Chaos Spawn fits demons more than CSM because it's not this sort of mechanized demon engine thing that Chaos Space Marines have a lot with, like the Venom Crawler and the Lord Discord.
Yeah, they're warp engines and shit.
Forge Fiends.
I got a pretty good one for CSM.
Yeah.
So I was looking, and like I think one weird thing about CSM is you got some like character units that shouldn't really be with like just Black Legion. You got like Fabius Bile and Lucius and shit, which I guess you could maybe argue. But there's one that I really can't argue. Cypher, the Fallen Dark Angel.
God, you're right.
He's like, I mean, oof. That's he. Don't get me wrong. He's probably traitor. I didn't really get to the Cypher book and stuff, but he's not doing CSM Abaddon shit, is he?
I don't think so. I mean, you could argue he's a renegade, but not chaos.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even. I don't think he even has any corruption on his model or anything.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where there's no renegade factions.
Yeah, so you kind of just have to throw them wherever.
Yeah, like we don't have the Severin Dominant, which is like a break-off faction of the Imperium, which is a bunch of humans, and their drip is fantastic. We don't have any models of them because they'd either be Chaos Cultists or Guard. Yeah. I want to do a conversion of the Severin Dominant so bad.
Yeah, I got Cypher. He's doesn't really fit for me. He's like
it's a good pick.
Renegade Gray Zone, you know?
Yeah, that's a good pick. Okay. I think I was going to still stick with Cultists, but that's a good pick.
Last one, Gene Stealers. We got the same one for this, but let's go into what Gene Stealers are first.
Yep. Gene Stealers are squishy hordes that pop up around the map with surprising trick weapons. Mm-hmm. Usually their shooting is kind of shit, but they have some pretty spicy things like satchel charges they could throw on you, and a couple of them have like mining lasers, which are basically just las cannons.
Yep.
So, all right. So in that case, what are we looking for then?
Something big and tough, kind of like the same idea of the Ogren Bodyguard.
Yeah. Tough melee bruisers, not a lot of tricks up their sleeves. I went for a character version of this.
I got the same character as you do.
Because here's the thing. Squads have a chance to come back on a dice roll.
The squad version of this is also a bit squishier. It's got, I think, 1 less wound and a lower save.
Yeah. So we're talking about the Abominant.
Yep. T6, 5 up save, 5 wounds, and a pretty fucking gnarly power sledgehammer.
Yep, and a 5 up Yellow Pain.
4 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength 12, AP 2, D6 plus 1. Why is this stronger than a normal Thunderhammer?
Dog, he is packing a las cannon as a melee weapon.
He is so good. He is John Wicking you with a las cannon in close quarters.
You want to know how tough he actually is? The first time he's destroyed on a 2-up, he comes back.
Which is pretty strong.
He has a Celestine rule. It's so epic. The Abominant.
It's pretty good.
Now, I do like the sort of genetic freak sort of part of Gene Stealers.
Yeah, and this does kind of get the mutant weirdness.
Yeah, I wish more of this was in Gene Stealers, but the way
Yeah.
Gene Stealers plays right now and their whole style, it doesn't fit this. Now,
Yeah.
there is a detachment that focuses on this kind of thing, but it's not
That'll
their
come and
core
go
identity.
though.
Yeah.
I think that's about it.
hmm
Yeah. So real quick, before we wrap up the video, just want to say a couple of things. YouTube pleasantries go really far. They mean a lot for us. It really boosts the channel. Please, please, please join the Discord. We do a lot of fun stuff. Trying to make a good community where we can all just talk stuff and be nice to each other and show off our cool painted models. Plus you can join the book club and stuff, which will be coming up soon. And we got a big announcement for Halloween. We got a cool thing that we want to do, that I want to do. Nick isn't helping. It's okay.
Hey, I mean, this is your idea. I'm just here for the ride, bro.
Yeah. I wanted to kind of do like a cool, fun Halloween giveaway. Because we did get a pretty big boost. I am really grateful for it. So I pulled together a little like trick or treat giveaway. So all you have to do is be subscribed and comment on any video in the month of October. So this is being the first video. And you can be entered to win 2 Citadel Skull wait, what bits pack?
Skulls pack. It's just Citadel skulls. It's like over 100 different skulls. There's a lot of human skulls. There's orc skulls,
demon ones, some alien ones.
Yeah, I've used a lot of the bird skulls to make my rock riders, and they're pretty sick.
But I figured it'd be a good one because nobody in the right mind is just going to willingly spend $60 on skulls, but everybody can use it, and you'd be more than happy to have it.
Sorry, you mentioned spending $60 on skulls. I got something in my throat. Go on.
Okay. But yeah, so just all you have to do, be subscribed, comment on any video from now until Halloween is probably when we will announce the winner.
All right, that's it. Go see if you can get the skull bits. If you have your own hot takes for what the least applicable, the least aligned unit is for each army, feel free to put it down there. I've seen some hot takes from our previous...
Or if you just hate us and just want to berate us, that's fine too.
It's free engagement, baby. We're all about that. We're all about that sweet, sweet algorithm.
sweet algorithm.
Let's go.
Also, let us know what you think about the new art. Is it cool? Should we... please, I hope y'all like it and we can keep it because it wasn't cheap.
Changing it.
It's really cool too. But yeah, I think that's about it. Go ahead and join the Discord. I don't know. Make sure you varnish your models.
There you go. I'll make sure Tyler doesn't talk about fortifications next time.
Anyways, Talis, drop the hammerfall right now.